Hey, and welcome to The Solid Verbal. Now would be a perfect time to consider subscribing. Yeah, that little subscribe button for year-round premium college football content. That's it. Here's the video. Enjoy. Subscribe.
The first one that comes to mind is Utah and Florida.
Sure, that's
Utah
great.
Utah coming from the Pac-12, Florida obviously from the SEC East. There is some shared history there, what with Urban Meyer and whatnot.
Yeah, Brian Johnson, yeah.
But that's one of my three matchups. She gave us three. Is that the three?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's our show. If you want two, if you want five, do your thing.
Well, I include Utah and Florida in there for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is Billy Napier starting out week one for his new team. Let's see what he can do against a more seasoned team in Utah, which should be pretty good again. So it's an opportunity for Billy Napier to get himself and Florida on the map very early. It's also, conversely, a great opportunity for Utah, to go on the road to Florida, cross country against an SEC opponent.
Yeah.
If they win that game, they instantly get a little bit more entrenched in that national conversation.
Sure.
I don't know how active they'll be part of that conversation moving forward throughout the course of the 13 weeks that follow. But as a starting point, to go to Florida and win is a big deal for Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah,
big deal.
Just the visual of that game, just the reigning Pac-12 champ who gave Ohio State everything they could handle in the Rose Bowl, going into the swamp, like the narrative of Billy Napier's first game, the idea of the top of a conference in the Pac-12 heading to the SEC. Granted, Florida isn't what they will be, we presume, in game one of Billy Napier's tenure, but as a TV show and the narrative tentacles that could come from that, is it the beginning of Cam Rising's Heisman campaign, Ty? I don't know. Was he one of the best 10, 12 quarterbacks in the country last year? Probably. So if he goes into Florida and looks incredible, there's a conversation starter, right? I know it's only week one, but there's only 12 games during the regular season. This is not an insignificant percentage of a team's games, especially when you're comparing teams. So I think Utah, Florida's a great answer. How about Cincinnati, Arkansas? Let's stay off the top of the top beaten path, because if KJ Jefferson is as good as I personally believe him to be, and if Cincinnati is going to be licking its wounds a little bit from an all-time great program team last year, losing, the talent they do on defense, losing Desmond Ridder, right? Arkansas should win that game. It's at Arkansas, I believe. I don't know if you have that in front of you. I believe, Cincinnati is at Arkansas September 3rd. And so this is, look, it's not a referendum on Arkansas's ascent under Sam Pittman, but if Arkansas is able to beat a team as good as Cincinnati in week one, I think it's telling. I absolutely think it's telling, because they kind of should. They hit the portal interestingly. It's not a referendum on where Sam Pittman and Arkansas stand. If they lose terribly, maybe it is.
See, I just don't think Cincinnati's going to be that good. They'll be fine. But
shouldn't Arkansas win this game if they are good?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. We should presumably see a jump forward with Arkansas.
Right. Okay. I have that. What do you have after that? Anything?
I've got LSU Florida State. LSU Florida State. I'm really excited about. It's week one. It's in NOLA, so kind of a home game for Louisiana State. But Florida State will travel well to that game. I have so many questions about both teams, right? This is the second straight year, coincidentally enough, that Brian Kelly's opened up against Florida State. The game last year, when it was Notre Dame FSU, was a hell of a game. Great way to start the season. I was on pins and needles watching over at Mama H's house the entire time. But questions on both sides. Florida State got off to a horrible start, 0-4 last season. They're obviously not looking to duplicate that in 2022. And LSU is just an open bag of questions, man. We don't know who's playing quarterback. I think Brian Kelly teams generally get up for these week one matchups. I think they'll be well coached and ready to go. Yeah. But there are just so many unknowns on both sides of the ball that I like having that game. It kind of as like one of the showpieces for that opening weekend of college football, because frankly, I've got a lot of questions that I need answered.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating, and obviously Brian Kelly already getting his mail forwarded to your head, so that's nice.
Right. That's nice.
Living there, you're not paying rent, obviously. You guys have an agreement, but I appreciate that answer. And my final answer is Alabama, Texas, which I think I just saw is kicking off at noon, much to the chagrin, because it's going to be a Fox game, to the chagrin of Alabama and Texas fans, which at this point, game could kick off at 6 a.m. I'd be pumped. It's college football. I'm great with whatever time a big game wants to happen. Good by me. Look, you have the Sark and Nick Saban history. You have Texas always turning a corner. Always. It's not that to me. It's more Alabama licking its wounds after the national championship game. And it's just the general environment. These are historic programs. Obviously, Alabama more so than Texas. But this one's exciting to me. I mean, I can selfishly say Oregon, Georgia, but I don't know what to expect from Dan Lanning, Oregon, much in the same way we don't fully know what to expect from Billy Napier, Florida. We could say Notre Dame, Ohio State for sure. But these are double-digit, I mean, Alabama, Texas is too, but these are double-digit lines. So it's not as exciting when there is an expected result. We'll watch all of these games, but Alabama, Texas to me has the feel because of the narrative, because of Quinn Ewers, because of the reigning Heisman winner, because of the most dangerous defensive player in the game. Like, there are so many identifiable pieces in this game, and we don't really get that a ton in college football early on in the season. We don't know who's going to pop, but right now we have a history with Sark, a history with Saban, a history now with Xavier Worthy, Quinn Ewers, Bryce Young. Well, we have a household name game, which is not the most mainstream way to start the season every year.
No, it isn't. And the other thing is Texas should have a pretty good offense.
Sometimes. Bijan Robinson,
I would hope this year that steps have been taken to improve that offense through the air, make them more reliable through the air, give Bijan and Roschon Johnson more of an opportunity to find holes and gash an opposing defense. They got to get better on defense. That's a whole other ball of wax. But I think if only on the power of their offense, there will be people writing articles about how that game could be interesting in the third quarter. You will see that. You will see that. And I want to believe that as well. By the way, that's week 2. As you said, it's an early kickoff. But we've got a nice little smattering of games here, non-conference games that are particularly interesting.